Good morning, everybody. So with today's video, I'm going to give you 7 long-lasting autumn and winter fragrances. This list will not be in any numerical order, but first one is going to be Azzaro Despot, launched in 2011. This is a fragrance you probably haven't heard of ever or just in a long time. It's been out of stock for years and years, but I'm still hoping by the time that this video goes out, it's still available on FragranceNet for about $70 Canadian, so like $52-ish. USD. This, if you like amber or frankincense with a lot of vanilla and a boatload of incense, this is something that you might want to look into. It's actually, in my opinion, a very mature fragrance in a pretty tacky young man's bottle. Like a microphone, like come on. But there's also aldehydes. There's aldehydes and licorice in the opening. The licorice is definitely there, adds a little bit of the sweetness. The incense comes in really quick. It's a very smoky incense. You're gonna get this ambery frankincense, vanilla. I feel like towards the base, there's like this burning ashy sort of woods. Maybe it's just me, but this is long lasting. It's actually quite versatile. Like I think that you could rock this, I can't believe I'm gonna say this, with a tuxedo, a suit and tie, even with a leather jacket and a black tee. It's just an all-around versatile fragrance in this tacky ass bottle. I'm sorry, I just can't get past the bottle. The only, like another bottle that reminds me of this is what, the Adam Levine one, of Adam Levine for Hammer or something like that. Both tacky, both juvenile. But the smell itself, again, this is not a young man's fragrance at all. You would think. Next one came out in 1998, and my pops had this back in the day. I did not like it back then, but boy do I love it now. Boucheron's Jaipur Homme. This is going to be the EDT concentration. With an EDT, I get like 9-10 hours. Plain and simple. With the EDP, it's even more. The EDP does smell a little bit different than this. Still, yet they're still very similar, but the EDP is just a little bit more thicker, a little bit denser of a fragrance. This one here has warm spices of cardamom and cinnamon. You're definitely going to get that ambery benzoin. There is some citruses in the opening such as lime, lemon, and bergamot, but the base does have that ambery benzoin with patchouli, cedar, and there's going to be some tonka bean. And apparently there's going to be some florals of like carnation and rose. I don't get that. But what I do get, and it's not a listed note, is vanilla. There is this sweet, creamy vanillic fragrance to this, and it's really nice. I don't know where that's coming from. I don't know if it's coming from like the benzoin or if it's just an unlisted note, but when I did my review, and even with Rush, because I, like for many years, I did not revisit it just because when I was young, I didn't appreciate it. But Rush had a bottle, he reintroduced it to me, and I'm like, I get this vanilla, and he said the same thing. But it definitely has that 90s vibe. But for me, it's a modern day classic, only because I'm an older guy. Gen X, the 90s, that's our decade. A 90s release. This has some class, some elegance, but at the same time, it's sexy and playful. It's a very versatile fragrance. You could dress it like this. This is just like a simple zip-up sweater, all the way to a tuxedo, in my opinion. For next one, let's go with something that was released last year, and this is a hate or love fragrance. Hugo Boss Boss Bottled Elixir. Anything with the name Elixir, you're gonna be spending a lot more. For someone who loves their freshies, their boring and safe, mass appealing generic type of fragrances, that's me. I love this stuff. I really, truly do. You're gonna get a lot of frankincense and patchouli. There's also labdanum, vetiver, cedar, and cardamom. Just very resinous, ambery, balsamic, woody, and warm spicy. Mature. If you're a young guy who likes this, then you definitely are more of an older soul. Or you're maybe a bit of a bad boy. Because this has bad boy qualities, but at the same time, it's very gentlemanly. This is not going to be for the masses. This is for particular taste, and I'm very surprised by that because Hugo Boss, they're looking to make money. I can't really see this being a big seller just because it's A very challenging fragrance that Hugo Boss has released. Mind you, the last 3 or 4 releases that they put out have been bangers, niche quality, very much like this, because you have like the Boss Bottled Absolute, which came out this year. You have the scent, I think it's the scent Elixir. I might be wrong, but I checked that one out like back in February with Ross. Great scent, just a lot more different, artistic, a step outside the box from what they've been producing. But this one here, leather jacket all the way to a tuxedo. Next fragrance, let's go with something that is super gently, classy, and elegant. Givenchy Gentleman Reserve Privé, launched in 2022. This, I gotta admit, is not original. Now, there was one comment that says, oh, it's original, I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. You're not wrong there. I fake it until I make it, and I still have not made it. But what I mean by this not being original is that this DNA has been done before. Valentino Uomo Intense, which I love and I own. But even before that is going to be Dior Homme Intense. It just has that vibe. What makes this one a little bit different though is going to be that whiskey, and it's not overly boozy, but it is a little boozy, but as well that chestnut. But what makes this super like familiar is going to be that iris. However, there is going to be woods and there's going to be amber and like bergamot as well to this gem. But again, it's been redone. It's just maybe like Dior Homme Intense with a twist. That's it. Just with a bit of a boozy splash and a little bit of a roasted chestnut. That's all it is. This is super long lasting. This is just a gentlemanly, what a gentleman would wear, like a polished, prim and proper, manners maketh man gentleman. I am not that, yet I love this fragrance. When I wear this fragrance, I feel like I'm more grown, more polished, just more of a gentleman. But this one here, this is just sense of style, preppy, all the way to a tuxedo. Next one, in my opinion, is very long lasting. Some people will say that it's been reformulated. I have absolutely no idea if it has. But for me, I get great performance out of this one here, and that's going to be Viktor and Rolf Spice Bomb, the original. I know that the Extreme is a lot more popular because of some of the influencers out there, but this is just a tremendous fragrance. If you love spicy fragrances, this is one that you're absolutely must try. So what you're going to get, you're going to get a boatload of cinnamon, saffron, there is pink pepper, there is also paprika, there is a resinous elemi, there's a short-lived bergamot and grapefruit in the opening. The base is leather, tobacco, and vetiver. Overall, it's super spicy as the main takeaway. Then it's going to be like a pipe-like tobacco with leather and a little bit of woods. Fantastic. This is masculine, bad boy masculine, but at the same time, there is definitely that gentleman component to it. So leather jacket all the way to a tuxedo. But if you don't like spices, this is one that you might not love. I love my spicy fragrances. Spicy food, which is, I've been with the same woman for 10 years. She's of Indian ancestry. Yet this white boy still can't handle the spices. But in fragrances, they absolutely can. Next fragrance, let's go with something that is very gentlemanly. Very much like these two here, the Givenchy and the Boucheron. And that's going to be Gucci Guilty Elixir. This was actually launched last year in 2023, and surprisingly, I like it. I like this one a lot. This is a hate or love scent though. What you're gonna get a lot of orange blossom. There's nutmeg, there's pimento seeds, there's osmanthus, orris, vanilla, benzoin, patchouli, and ambroxan. For the most part, a lot of orange blossom, a lot of vanilla. Orris to add that powdery undertone with some amber. It's like an ambery white floral vanilla with orris. That's pretty much sums it up. With maybe a little bit of aldehydes or ambroxan, whatever. Overall, super gentleman. Marketed towards the men, but in my opinion can be most certainly a unisex fragrance. This is not masculine at all. This is a modern day gentleman type of fragrance only because of that vanilla, the orris, but especially the orange blossom. Hate or love. When I first smelled it, I'm like, ooh, It's not really for me, but as I started to wear my sample, because I got a few samples, this is actually not my bottle, this is Chad Secrets, I started to appreciate it more and more. I love it. This is daily wear, but can be worn all the way to a tuxedo. And last but not least, this fragrance is both bad boy and gently. Launched in 2014. Bentley for Men, Absolute. This is a heavy hitter. So when you are like on the gentleman side, less is more when it comes to the applications. When it comes to the bad boy side, the same could be said, but you can also go with maybe like an extra spray or two. But if you're really about manners maketh man, don't over-apply. I'd say no more than 3 sprays. This fragrance has a lot of pink pepper and ginger. The ginger energizes the hell out of the scent, but it's very ambery with olibanum. It does have papyrus, sandalwood, oud, which I don't get, and there's going to be Atlas cedar. This has that pencil shaving vibe. So it's not going to be for everybody. Who would have thought that pencil shavings is actually like, you know, would be like liked by some people. For me, it does have that pencil shaving vibe, and this reminds me of like when I was a kid. I don't know if they still have the pencil sharpeners where you do it like this, but back then I used to bring a pencil from this to this. I don't know why. We're all dumb when we're kids. We all are. But this does in some ways remind me of back then. This is just super warm, very ambery, woody, resinous with, you might get oud, I don't, but with a lot of spices. Bad boy, but gently. James Bond, the Kingsman. Long lasting, leather jacket, all the way to a tuxedo. And guys, that is 7 long lasting fragrances for the autumn and winter time. Any reviews that I've done on any of these fragrances, they will all be down in the description box below. The hardest to come by is going to be this one here. Again, by the time that this video goes out, I don't know if this is going to be still available, so just keep your eyes open. But what videos to watch next? Well, why don't you check out right here, and if you like this type of video, please leave me one of these. Thank you for your time, take care, and I will see you later. Thanks for watching, everybody.